Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So we have here another article about another rally. We've been having a lot of marches and a lot of rallies lately. And it's just like I've been saying, and it isn't going to stop. It's only going to get worse because there are a lot of angry people out there. A lot of people feel disgruntled, angered, enraged. There's fear. There's a lot going on, and it only gets worse. And so in this article, I have a title similar, but I'm saying that Patriot rally in Portland could be most violent since Charlottesville. And so activists are bracing themselves, and the people of Portland that are in this area are bracing themselves for the coming rally. And so this rally could really be something that people will watch on TV and see as another violent episode waiting to erupt. And so it goes on to talk about how coming up. And so this is really scary because there have been several articles that have pictured this particular event coming. And so you have several events coming up. You have the right-wing groups that say that they are going to arm themselves with guns and plan to impersonate and infiltrate Antifa. And then you have this Portland rally, supposed to be a prayer rally, but it could turn extremely violent. And so I'm going to read this article because it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So armed proto-fascist gangs are set to rally in Portland, Oregon this weekend, stirring fears that the city could witness the kind of political violence not seen since the deadly white supremacist Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia. Nearly a year ago, this happened. So members of the two violent far-right groups, Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys, both of which have deep ties to white supremacist organizations. They plan to rally in Tom McCall Waterfront Park at noon on Saturday. So that is right around the corner. That's not even a hop, skip, and a jump away at all. It's right in all of everyone's face. So the so-called Gibson for Senate Freedom March is being organized by Patriot Prayer leader Joey Gibson, who is running for Senate as a Republican from Washington State. The upcoming event is the latest in a series of rallies Gibson has held along the West Coast since early 2017 in support of President Donald Trump. So under the banner of free speech and patriotism, in several cases, the rallies have become a pretext for Patriot Prayer members and more recently Proud Boy members to commit organized assaults on anti-fascist protesters. Okay, so the last rally on June 30 was declared a riot by the city of Portland after Patriot Prayer and Proud Boy members, many in body armor and carrying weapons, repeatedly charged at anti-fascist protesters. A viral video showed one of the Proud Boy members knocking a masked anti-fascist unconscious. Other videos have showed Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer members isolating and circling counter-protesters and beating them. At least 6 people were sent to the hospital after days of chaos, and one with a brain hemorrhage. 9 people were arrested. And so right here, they've been verified, some people, right here on Twitter. After a brief pause back at Schrunk's Plaza, Patriot Prayer Rally is marching again through Portland. And so I want you to brace yourself, because this is not a pretty sight that you're about to see. So a man gets cornered in a corner by Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys and is hit a few times before being led to police. And so I want you to brace yourself, and excuse me for this. It's very graphic. So if you have any young ones, please excuse them. Brace yourself for this.
They start smashing people's cameras and stuff. Oh yeah.
So that is the video. That is only but one of the videos that have surfaced on this event that could be possibly extremely violent. And so it's also a word of warning and caution for those of you who are planning on attending this event. You may want to rethink before you attend this event, because it doesn't seem like that the people who are going to show up will be in a peaceful manner. They may be ready for some chaos. So the violent at the June 30 rally appears to have excited and galvanized the far right. So now experts and anti-fascist organizers are concerned that Saturday's rally could be even more violent. So earlier this week, Gibson announced he was moving the location of the rally to Tom McCall Waterfront Park, where local ordinances will allow demonstrators to legally carry firearms. So I suggest you people be safe. Don't risk your life for something and then end up losing it behind this. So I'm going to pop back over to the article. And so this is really serious, y'all. The Proud Boys and the Patriot Prayer group are almost one and the same. They're united in some way and they have deep ties. And so you need to be safe. So they could come legally carrying firearms. So Oregon is an open carry state. And unlike previous events, these groups are not expecting to be disarmed by law enforcement either. So said Heidi Berich, director of the Intelligence Project at the Southern Poverty Law Center, a legal advocacy group that monitors extremist activity. So after being emboldened by the June 30 rally in Portland that turned violent, other far-right activists have stated that they intend to be in Portland this weekend, Barrett said. So Brianna Goring, an analyst with the Anti-Defamation League Center on Extremism, told Huffington Post the potential for the violence is very, very real. So both Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boys are infamous for their deliberate provocations of left-leaning West Coast communities, including Portland, Gorin said. So for weeks, members of both groups have been talking about the event online, commenting on how much they are looking forward to defending their freedom and confronting communists and counter-protesters, she went on. So they've even produced a a promotional video showing the name of Patriot Prayer founder Joey Gibson emblazoned on a missile falling toward a target, an animated Antifa sign. So organizers of the counter protest are hoping hundreds, if not thousands of people turn up to chase Gibson and his supporters out of town. So one of the things folks keep saying is, if you just ignore them, they probably go away. So Effie Baum, a spokesperson for Popular Mobilization, a coalition of activists formed to mobilize a counter-protest on Saturday, told Huffington Post. So there are many examples across history that explicitly tell us this is not true. So the community at large in Portland has tried ignoring them. Despite that, Joey Gibson and Patriot Prayer have not gone away at all. So if nobody is there to oppose them, then there is nobody to prevent them from targeting and marginalize members of our community, Baum said. So we need to show up en masse and chase the violent and dangerous groups back, just like we did in the 1980s and the 1990s. So Baum also pointed to the success of the counter demonstration in Boston last year, when tens of thousands of protesters turned up to drown out the alt-right rally. So the Pacific Northwest and Portland in particular has long been a magnet for white supremacist fascists and the other far-right extremists, a fact that came into focus in May of 2017 when a white supremacist named Jeremy Joseph Christian allegedly stabbed 3 men on a Portland MAX train, killing 2 of them. The 3 men had intervened when Christians started to harass and threaten the 2 Black teenage girls, one of whom was Muslim, wearing a headscarf. So Christian had attended a Patriot Prayer rally organized by Gibson just 1 month before the killings. So although Gibson has often tried to distance himself from white supremacists and neo-Nazis, he also openly defended or allied himself with white nationalist groups like Identity Europa and the Traditionalist Workers' Party. White supremacists have also routinely turned up at Patriot Prayer events. So Gibson has also developed a close relationship with the Proud Boys, a self-described Western chauvinist fraternal organization that the SPLC has designated a hate group largely due to its misogynistic and anti-Muslim views. So many Proud Boys are explicit white nationalists, with some participating in last year's Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. So recently, Proud Boys have gained a foothold in the Northwest, and the group's members have been implicated in multiple assaults in the Portland area. So far-right paramilitary organized like the Proud Boys and Patriot Prayer continue to escalate violence, assaults, and confrontations in Portland, Oregon, said Lindsay Schubner of the Western State Center, a Portland nonprofit aimed at racial, social, and economic justice. They are committed to undermining democratic institutions, and they have intentionally focused their energy on Portland this Saturday because they believe the city leadership has become complacent and ineffective at maintaining order, Schubner said. It's not a fight between Proud Boys and Antifa, but an assault on Portland. As reported by the Oregonian, Portland police have sometimes chosen to use a hands-off approach at Patriot Prayers events, as they did at the June 30 rally, allowing brawls and anti-fascists. In a press release Friday, the Portland Police Department said it will have a significant presence at the protests and will be searching people for weapons at the entrance to the park. According to the Guardian's Jason Wilson, police clarified that the people with permits to carry firearms in the state of Oregon will be allowed to do so in the park. So Charlottesville activists released a statement Friday denouncing the rogues gallery of white nationalists, fascists, and Nazi expected to gather in Portland this weekend. So Charlottesville understands all too well what it means to have fascist agitators bring choreographed terror into our community. The statement read in part, so we remember bracing ourselves last year against the threat of the white supremacist attacks cloaked as free speech. We send solidarity and love to Portland, particularly to communities most targeted by the Islamophobic, and transphobic and anti-immigrant and genocidal agenda of Saturday's fascist event. It continued. So we call on communities across America to address the deep history of white supremacy recently amplified by the Trump administration that generates this latest wave of fascist terror. So Gibson, meanwhile, has continued to escalate tensions ahead of Saturday's rally. He and his supporters have twice visited Portland, Occupy ICE encampment outside a federal immigration detention center, harassing those protesting the Trump administration policy of forcibly separating immigrant children from their parents and placing them in government camps. So Gibson has also appeared in InfoWars and the notorious far-right conspiracy websites, telling host Alex Jones and the Patriot Prayer and the Proud Boy members will disguise themselves as anti-fascist demonstrators at Saturday's rally, donning masks to infiltrate their ranks. He later suggested in a Facebook video that this would be part of the ploy to attack anti-fascists. In another Facebook video, Gibson reiterated that his supporters should be armed on Saturday. So everyone should be carrying around guns at all times, he said. Andy Campbell contributed to this reporting, and this is an article originally that appeared in Huffington Post. Okay, so those of you who plan to go to this event, they want as many people to show up, but if you